Authenticity. That's important on the radio. Here's somebody who's always authentic. It's Stephen Nolan.
Hello there.
Was that the main point that you were making today?
Well, it was more about, we went from how do you make a radio show sound real to me explaining, well, it's got to be real, and what does that mean? And I think what gives a programme an authenticity is it powerful? And what does that mean? And that means that a listener knows over years that if they need something dramatically changed in their life, that we can empower them. And sometimes that's like something that some manager would say. And what we do is, we don't have programme meetings after the show. We refuse to have programme meetings after the show, because what's that? That's not authentic. That's a group of BBC producers and presenter that has just made the show, trying to convince themselves why either it was great or if it wasn't great, trying to come up for excuses. So how we test how authentically impactful our radio programme is that we deliver a brochure to the BBC management team once a year with how individual lives of listeners have been changed in some way by our programme. In other words, impact. And so in the brochure this year, you tell me if this is a test of authenticity. A 92-year-old lady was being moved out of her care home. Her daughter rings our programme. Government legislation completely stopped in its tracks. That's a big story. A lady who was pregnant, got a scan, her child would have anencephaly, which meant that the child would die as soon as it was born, wanted legislation changed in Northern Ireland, wasn't getting anywhere, came to us. That story became a network story after she came to us, and the Justice Minister's now having a review of abortion policy in Northern Ireland. That's authentic. That's a big story.
Can I just ask you this, Steve, because I think it's something
I'm talking forever. That's authentic too.
That's what you do.
Shut me up.
That's your style.
And shut me up.
Your thing, though, on the air is being you. There is no artifice in your performances, because it's not a performance, it's not an act. Yeah. If I tune into you, it is like meeting you here. It's the same thing, isn't it?
So, I'm a fat guy that would like to be thin, so I talk about that on the radio. I have days where I'm pretty down and I can't be bothered. I talk about that on the radio. Sometimes my team genuinely fall out with me. When they do, they come in and they talk about it on the radio. So, yeah, and what does that do? That's not just about filling airtime. I believe what that does is it very much reinforces what I believe to be true, which is I'm no better than the audience, and I'm as fallible as the audience, and I've similar problems to the majority of people listening. And so therefore, think about it. If I struggle, if I'm not superior, if they've got a story, who are they going to trust? Are they going to trust someone in a suit and tie that looks dapper and maybe talks like this, and yes, we did have a great education? Or actually, are they going to come to someone where they're kind of thinking, I might not be that intelligent, but that presenter isn't any more intelligent than I am? And that's what I truly believe. I genuinely do. There are occasions when there is a news story, and I'm not ashamed to admit this. There are occasions when I hear a news story before I'm presenting it, I don't understand the detail of it sometimes. So why wouldn't I admit that? And what I try to do is read up about it. And therefore, if I've got that sense in my head, I don't really understand this, then I know the audience don't really understand it either.
Stephen Nolan, he's real, he's authentic, and he's on his way to Manchester to watch another
where
City
Manchester
win.
United are going to win tonight.
Unlikely.